student in the Department of Geography at the Free University in Berlin. Research is focused in Medellin. Medellin is the second biggest city in Colombia, has a population of 4.5 million people. And innovation and inequality have recently become prominent characteristics to describe the city. We can see here that the city has been awarded as an Innovative City Prize in 2013 for its integrated transportation system that consists of metro lines, aerial passenger cars, like you see here, a system of buses and bikes, a network of schools and libraries in low-income areas, and also a couple of museums. However, and also has been received the award the most resilient city by the Rockefeller Foundation. Just last week we were celebrating of hosting the UN Urban Forum, but at the same time, paradoxically, the city has been ranked as the highest city in Colombia with the highest level of inequality. What this presentation wants to show is how water services as an object we wish to explore how these two contrasting visions became consolidated in the city. So what happened in Medellin is that water services are being provided by a public company that is called EPM, Empresas Públicas de Medellin. It's a multi-utility company. It not only provides water, it also providing energy, gas, telecommunications, and solid waste collection. As it is a public company, by law, it has to transfer 30% of its revenues to the municipality of Medellin, that is its own owner, and that's why the city is constructing all these cable cars and museums and a network of libraries. And something very interesting in this company is that since 2010, the company is transformed into a multi-Latina. That is a regional multinational company. Nowadays, the company EPM is transformed into EPM Group and is became the leading energy provider in Central America after buying companies in Salvador, Panama, and Guatemala. More recently, a audit park in Chile. And since last year, it's operating in the water sector. The company goes on water treatment plants in Mexico. So it's expected a big expansion to Latin America in the next, one of the main goals of the company. Although the company claims that it has 100% coverage in the whole city, we can see here that there is a significant number of households that have been disconnected for no payment. There are around 46,000 households that have been disconnected for no payment. Additionally to 36,000 households that are outside the periphery, you can see here, that cannot be connected by law, so they don't receive any formal service from the company. So in order to reduce disconnection rates, the company has implemented prepared water systems and prepared systems. This is something that we have in common between Colombia and South Africa. The company imported prepared systems from South Africa. Now they are being implemented in the city in Medellin. And Medellin is being a pilot city that is going to, there are different kinds of companies, Colombian companies looking at prepaid system work in Medellin to spread it all over Colombia and also Latin America. This picture here is from the prepaid energy. It's been implemented since 2007. It has been very successful. And now they implemented a pilot project for water, and it is still, there are lots of problems with the commercial part. We still have to change the rules, but it's not being easy. They are working together with the Regulatory Commission. So what I want to show in this case study, after giving a bit of context where we are located, I want to explore the practice of unserved households, the households that are outside the periphery, that have not been served by the company, as they try to secure access to and control over water in this context. The argument I want to put forward is that such practices are influenced not just by the physical and spatial character of water itself, but also how water is technically differentiated by the water company. I will explain later what does it mean. And the analytical framework, I'm linking the relationship between infrastructure networks, notions of citizenship, and access to water to reveal how certain households reclaim or how they consider what is truly public. Because there's a big confusion in the city, because the company is public, but it's also disconnected from the city. So it's a big question, what does it mean public in the city? And I'm using interviews with community members and leaders, staff of the water company, municipal officials, participation in community meetings, and direct observation that was conducted between 2011 and 2013. So let's start with the so-called risk zone. So as I mentioned before, there are 35,000 households outside the periphery, and they don't have connection formally to a payment system. They are mostly inhabited by a high number of internally displaced people that have been displaced by the civil war that has been in Colombia since the last 50 years. So as you see here, it's a very steep slope, so accessibility is very restricted, so technical issues are always used as an obstacle to extend the network to these areas. Access to water is mostly secure in these areas through informal and legal practices, and became a very big problem for the company because these areas report a high levels of unaccountable for water. In total, the company reports 35% of water that has been lost through physical loss or commercial losses. So I want to zoom in into particular case studies. These case studies, I decided to make this comparison because they share some similarities and differences. As you see here, they are located in the northeastern part of Medellin. They share very similar geographical and socioeconomic conditions. They are in these steep slopes, as I showed you in the picture before. This area of the city is the area that has a high level of water availability. So as you can see in the blue points, there's a big network of infrastructure by the water company. So somehow water runs very easily through this area, through this neighborhood. And it's inhabited by campesinos, farmers. So the difference is with visitation is that despite sharing similarities, residents of both neighborhoods, it's called, I'm showing Bello Oriente and Pinares Oriente, when you see this big circles there. They employ different practices to secure access to water according to the kind of water they use. For instance, in Bello Oriente, they use raw water, and in the other one, Pinares Oriente, they use potable water directly from the company. So I will show what does it mean for these neighborhoods, having access to different kind of water. And also the way how the water company intervenes these two neighborhoods and the infrastructure likely depends on the kinds of water they use. So I want to show how practices are highly influenced by water heterogeneity and also has a big influence how people perceive what means public. So let's start with the first case study. It's a neighborhood called Bello Oriente. This is citizenship recognition through collective struggle. People have been, this infrastructure was built 50 years ago. It's an alternative infrastructure that operates in a community-based models. The thing is that on the top of this infrastructure, there is a tank of the company that has a physical problem, so water overflows. So people, instead of seeing just water flowing, they decide to build this infrastructure system and with their own money. So what they do is this system supplies 150 families that have been, as I explained before, displaced. They have a fontanero, that is a person who is paid on a weekly basis by the community for maintenance, but he doesn't charge for the water that's being consumed, just for repairing some tubes, fixing some cracks, or when after heavy rain, he cleans some leaves that just are around. And he connects the people, the new people, because this area of Medellin constantly receives internally displaced people. So if somebody wants to fix or arrange water access, he has to contact this fontanero. And he just for a small amount of money, connects the person, but it's the first thing that in this neighborhood is being fixed, water access to everybody to come. So the system doesn't exclude anybody, and it generates a strong sense of community. This has been particularly important to demand other kind of services, such as housing, education, or another kind of infrastructure. And for them, this water is being considered as a public, and everybody has to have access to it. But what happened that because it's raw water, it doesn't have any interest for the company for a commercial principle. EPM refuses to intervene in this infrastructure. Sometimes after a very heavy rain, water comes very polluted, and EPM and they have required the company to build a small water treatment system, but it's like they don't interfere because it doesn't have any commercial value. The second case study is called Binaries Oriented, Citizenship Recognition to Individual Struggle. What happened here is people in Medellin, because water runs abundantly, not just on the technological infrastructure for the companies everywhere, just people lack illegally. So they have access to potable water. So as you can see here, this spaghettization of the network, so people plug with whatever tubes they find, and then it's a big high levels of leakages of potable water and high water consumption rates. As you can see in this picture, down, they don't have any taps, so water is constantly running and being lost. So for EPM, this kind of case studies have been a main target. They need to reduce unaccountable for water, they need to reduce what is a commercial, it's registered as a commercial loss. So it's interesting how the company comes and works with the community. So I want to look at a particular program the company has been developed in the last 3 years. It's called, in Spanish, it's called Brigadas Comunitarias de Mitigación al Riesgo, which is a community brigades to mitigate risk. It's a temporary solution because the company cannot provide legally water in these areas. So this program is called as a temporal, solution. And however, the company is also expecting to charge for the service in the long term, but nobody knows in which terms or what methodology or method should be applied in this case. It's also a big challenge for the company. So I took this picture last week. So we took a volunteer day, so the company invites the workers to connect people to the network. So the first thing is they implement a clinical program. So it consists on installing a communal meter. So all people that are connected to this program, the tubes are linked to this communal meter, and this communal meter is to control consumption rates, consumption levels. Also, they replace pipes for better ones. And then this technical part is being supplemented with an educational program which is people are being educated how to use in an intelligent way, how to appreciate water as a scarce resource, how to consider or appreciate water as a public, also in this case water as public. People in interviews has expressed a strong desire to have EPM water. What is the reason for it? Because it is linked to notions of citizenship and access to land. People want to be recognized in the city, and just the only way to be recognized in the city, the most important element that recognizes in the city is to have EPM water. Also, this is being scared of being disconnected and don't have fear of being evicted. Also, it's linked to notions of housing. People want to have EPM water because, like anybody else in the city, everybody has EPM water, so they want to be included in the system. However, they want to have individual random collection meters because the strong link between water rights and property rights. So conclusions, we can. Sorry.